Hello everyone, this is David Marclane. In this video, I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Moeed Pirzada to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Moeed Pirzada's words. First, we were going to talk about Pakistan and India, but instead of that, I want to present something through an international lens. Though on the surface it may not seem directly related to Pakistani politics, once you hear the example I'm about to share, many of you might agree that it is indeed very relevant and will have a significant effect on Pakistan. So, what is this development? Reuters, perhaps the biggest and most credible global news agency, published a very detailed analysis which I'm showing on screen. This story mentions India and Pakistan. They reportedly spoke with 15 unnamed defense officials, security and strategic analysts, and industry insiders. The core of the story is that both India and Pakistan, after their three-day skirmish, are massively investing in expanding and upgrading their drone fleets and improving supply chains. I always try to show you the sources. Sometimes I can't due to time, but today, as you can see, I'm making an effort to show you international headlines. I believe that in South Asia, India and Pakistan, I am considered one of the more careful TV anchors who sticks close to facts and avoids exaggeration. Regulatory authorities, whether PEMRA in Pakistan or Ofcom in the UK, have never challenged my content because it relies heavily on credible, published sources. In Pakistan, I rely on Dawn and Tribune. In India, I refer to their major newspapers. Internationally, I use sources like the New York Times and Washington Post. I also thank you all because in my last vlog, I asked you not to blindly trust me, but to do your own research on things like polygraph tests. Many of you did and even wrote back, which I really appreciate. So again, I urge you not to take anyone's word for granted. Do your own research. Now, let's look at this Reuters story. It reports that India has decided to invest around $460 to $500 million over the next 12 months in its drone fleet. Pakistan is also making major acquisitions from China and Turkey. The difference is that India has involved the private sector, while Pakistan's drones are largely assembled from Chinese or Turkish components known as CKD or completely knocked down kits with limited in-house engineering. Pakistan benefits from having a military-industrial complex which ensures secrecy and perhaps reduces cost. India, however, believes involving the private sector leads to more innovation and better products. Why is this happening? India fears that just as China halted supplies to Ukraine, causing major issues for its combat drone capabilities, the same could happen to them. So they are looking for alternative supply chains. On the other hand, Pakistan's reliance on China is becoming very apparent. Why this rush to expand drone capabilities? Both countries have realized that drones offer a low-escalation warfare opportunity. The public feels victorious, and the opposing public feels intimidated. For instance, over 100 Indian drones reportedly entered major Pakistani cities like Karachi, Lahore, Rawalpindi and Islamabad, causing widespread fear despite causing little to no casualties. Similarly, Pakistan has used drones in Jammu, Srinagar, Udhampur, though not as far into Indian Punjab. The drone's psychological impact is immense. It feels like war, but doesn't result in major losses. Drones offer precision targeting, like Indian drones destroying a sports stadium in Rawalpindi, as per the footage. Pakistan claims to have attacked Indian air bases and depots using drones, though India says the attacks weren't very effective, as they used upgraded Soviet-era anti-aircraft systems integrated with modern radar, communications and AI to shoot down Pakistani drones. It seems from the Reuters story that Pakistan wasn't fully prepared for this kind of drone onslaught. They used fake radars to attract Indian surveillance drones and then shot them down with gunfire once they descended below 3,000 feet. However, it also shows that Pakistan needs to invest heavily in its ground defense systems because the current ones are ineffective compared to India's. India also used Israeli-made Harop drones, loitering munitions or kamikaze drones, which attack their targets directly by crashing into them. Drones are cheaper than fighter jets. For example, Chinese jets cost around $70 million each, while India's Rafale jets cost about $224 million apiece, now priced around $285 million. So, losing 5 jets, as Pakistan claims, would cost India about $1 billion. Reuters also reports that India's Ministry of Defence has authorised tenders for a stealth multi-role fighter jet to be manufactured entirely within India, possibly with engines from GE in the US. The Tejas jet deliveries were delayed because GE didn't deliver the engines due to US-specific reasons. Meanwhile, Pakistan was expecting 30 J-35 jets from China by August, but due to financial issues, it's unlikely. China wants to give them, but not for free, and Pakistan might not afford them right now. Reuters says that in the last financial year, India and Pakistan cumulatively spent about $96 billion on defence acquisitions and budgets, nearly $100 billion. When you're young, you feel excited about new weapon systems, thinking we've struck them hard. I felt the same in my youth, but now, with experience, I feel deeply sad for both countries. How their poor populations are being used by defence contractors, commission agents and top decision-makers, while their real needs are being ignored. India has a growing economy worth $4 trillion. Pakistan's economy is tiny by comparison, around $350 billion, and is barely growing, struggling to avoid bankruptcy. Pakistan likely spends a higher percentage of its GDP on defence than India does, though it's hidden in the figures. This new defence spending has serious implications. For example, Pakistani officials like Faisal Vauda have said in Senate speeches that development budgets should be shelved, salaries increased, and weapons acquired. This means that over the next 12 to 24 months, Pakistan will have less money for healthcare, education, technical training, clean water, milk, sanitation, transport, and communication. We are already surviving on IMF, World Bank, and Asian Development Bank loans. We join IMF programs only to qualify for additional financing from Paris Club and global bond markets. Apart from milk and bread, this has another impact. Condoleezza Rice, former US National Security Advisor, wrote in her book No Higher Honor that after 9/11, increased defense expenditure led to increased political influence of security institutions. That will likely happen again in Pakistan. Military officers, contractors, agents and generals will gain more power and influence. That's a political impact. Now, coming back to drones, Russia has attacked Ukraine using around 400 drones per day for the past 3 days. Deaths have been relatively low, around 12 reported, but infrastructure damage and psychological impact have been severe, with people unable to sleep due to fear. Even Trump has said Putin has gone crazy. Compare that to the India-Pakistan drone story, and you'll see how drone warfare and modern weapons have become extremely significant. This means, as a result of this new style of warfare, the massive traditional armies that India and Pakistan have built, Pakistan's is around 600,000 to 700,000 strong, and India's is around 1.3 million, are now facing a massive question mark regarding their future. These are armies with soldiers, officers, vehicles, salaries. Now serious doubts are emerging about their future. People haven't started thinking seriously about this yet, but they will have to. Now moving forward, Pakistan's Foreign Office has reacted strongly to Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's recent speech in Gujarat. They said that Modi made highly irresponsible comments about Pakistan, violated UN laws, acted aggressively, and that his words were filled with aggression. Let me tell you exactly what Modi said. In his speech, Modi said 2 main things. First, he appealed to the people and youth of Pakistan to rise against terrorism and take a stand for their own people. This might have angered the Pakistani Foreign Office, but the second part of his speech was filled with more contempt and hatred than aggression. It was a political rally where Modi said, "Eat bread, otherwise I have bullets ready for you." This was a deeply contemptuous statement suggesting that the people of Pakistan must rid their country of terrorism or face violence. The Foreign Office's reaction is understandable, but both the Indian Prime Minister and Pakistan's Foreign Office are essentially engaging in hollow rhetoric. They are fooling the public. Modi knows very well that after the recent events, war is no longer an easy option. Pakistan also understands that anything in Jammu and Kashmir or elsewhere that could escalate will now be avoided to prevent blame. The kind of incident that happened over 4 days, Pakistan cannot afford another like it. In fact, all the political objectives of Pakistani leadership, Sharif, Zardari and Asim, have been fulfilled. Any next confrontation will be created by India, possibly for some strategic requirement. Now, looking at the winners and losers of the current situation, the winners are countries like China and France, arms suppliers and commission agents. The losers are the people of India and Pakistan, who don't even fully understand what's going on. Indian newspapers like The Hindu have reported extensively on Pakistani PM Shehbaz Sharif's recent joint press conference in Iran. He extended something of an olive branch toward India, expressing interest in dialogue over issues like Kashmir, terrorism and especially water, since water scarcity is a major problem in Pakistan. India has perceived this as Pakistan offering talks and even seeking help from Iran. After Turkey, Sharif visited Iran and then Azerbaijan. India, however, has remained completely silent on this. Meanwhile, Pakistan's leading English newspaper Express Tribune published a story with a picture of Pakistan's Army Chief General Asim Munir visiting Iran's military headquarters. Though it claims they discussed major regional matters, in truth, nothing significant likely happened, just a cosmetic visit. Iran's military, unlike Pakistan's, doesn't play a dominant political role. Pakistan's military, however, is the primary power center. There's another telling image shown by Dr. Shahbaz Gill during a meeting between Sharif's team and Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei. The Pakistani army chief was among the select attendees, seated at an equal level with ministers. Gill offers a psychological analysis, saying General Asim Munir, already the power center in Pakistan, has now made himself field marshal and may soon aim to become president. This signals a power imbalance that is becoming untenable. But Imran Khan has tweeted defiantly, saying he will never bow before tyranny, even if it kills him. Asim Munir and his team want a deal, but Imran Khan refuses to endorse the changes made while he's been imprisoned, such as Munir becoming field marshal and extending tenures of military heads. For Khan to accept this would be to destroy his political legacy. So no deal is likely. Press talks from PTI leaders, including Imran Khan's sister Alima Khan, Ali Amin Gandapur, Barrister Gohar and Junaid Akbar, have emphasized they are receiving threats but won't be intimidated. Alima's press conference highlighted judicial helplessness, saying a judge admitted that he had given an order but his staff failed to implement it. Before the 2022 regime change operation, the Islamabad High Court was seen as powerful and responsive. Businessmen or officials fearing harassment would file a petition and get relief the same day. But now, even judges hesitate to raise questions. People's trust in law and order is eroding. In cities like Faisalabad or Gujranwala, powerful groups openly attack each other with automatic weapons. Lawlessness prevails. The military believes it can maintain discipline while chaos reigns elsewhere, but even its internal discipline could erode. The military isn't held together by weapons, but by military law. All this leads to the current Supreme Court case regarding PTI's reserved seats, which is now before a 13-member bench. Notably, this bench does not include the original judges who had earlier ruled in PTI's favor. It seems this bench has been formed to reverse that decision, just like the decision on military courts was undone. The real goal appears to be to undo PTI's victory on the reserved seats. That wraps up our translation of Moeed Pirzada's video. I hope this English version helped you understand his message better. Please like, share and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.